Welcome to Cultivating Courage, a podcast exploring fear, courage, and stepping into a life filled with purpose, connection, and love. In this coaching conversation with our guest James, we explore perspective and what it takes to make a huge career change. Welcome to another episode of Cultivating Courage. I am your host, Kristen Robinson. I'm the founder of Thrive Coaching Studio, and we help women look at fear and step into their greatness. This week, I'm joined by Matt.
Hey, everybody. I'm Matt. I'm a coach, founder, CEO of Hearthstone Coaching and Consulting.
So official.
I'm an actor. I am a lover. I am a saint.
We're also joined this week. Good luck topping that.
I'm not even going to try.
We're also joined this week with James. Welcome, James.
Hey, thanks.
Would you like to make an attempt to top
Absolutely
Matt's
not.
intro?
No,
Come on, man.
I'm going to be very
You can be a saint, too.
boring.
It's a huge club of
I'm no
us.
saint.
Yeah. I'm a guy who does a lot of stuff and has no time or sleep. So that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing
Awesome.
great.
Yeah.
I'm also a lover.
A lover, too. Yeah, we all are.
Yeah. Speaking of lovers, I have a Tinder icon on my phone right
That's
now.
burning a
Yeah,
hole
we
in
were
your
just
soul right
talking
now.
about
You
it.
wanna look
Like,
at that
do
so
we
bad.
look? Who did someone message me? We got to know. Can we look at it?
Can we swipe down?
Yeah, we got to look. We got to
We
check
don't
it
have
out.
to show the people.
Here we go. Okay, we're gonna.
Somebody sent me a new
Okay, we got to read it.
message.
We're gonna read it.
You guys
It's
are
a
ridiculous.
message on Tinder. Here we go. This is the big moment.
This is the juice, baby. This is what the people want.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's why they're tuning in. Basically, it's this dude that...
No, you got to just read it straight out.
Okay. Hi, how are you? Unfortunately, neither of those work for me. I might be able to do something Sunday later afternoon. At this point, why don't you tell me your availability next week?
Oh man, I sent so many messages like that.
Yeah.
They should just include a little scheduling app in Tinder. You know, that'll just like see your mutual availability and just be like, these times work for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to bleep all that because if someone hears that and steals that idea, they're going to make so much money.
Okay. Yeah.
Working
Bleep
for
it.
Tinder.
Yeah. You got to do this.
Yeah.
Man. Okay.
Do it.
Okay. So anyway,
That was not nearly as juicy or exciting
No.
as I thought it would be.
Yeah, we can just cut that whole thing out.
No.
No, absolutely not.
No.
No.
No. It's good. It's like your life.
Yeah.
Well, except it's funny because, I mean, I'm on Tinder like once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I never am on
No.
the dating apps.
No. What are your other apps?
I use Tinder and Hinge.
And Hinge. Yes.
And I use the League a little bit, but not like
What's the league?
it's like a
It's super elite.
only sort
Sounds-
of.
You can't
Yeah, it
talk.
sounds
Don't talk
very-
about it. He can't know about
Very
it.
black
yeah.
card.
We can only tell people about
Well,
it.
he's already got his person, so
Oh yeah, that's right.
I have
he's
an
not.
existing.
Oh, yeah, are you married?
He's not looking for an
I mean,
invitation.
practically, we've been
Yeah.
together for like 10 years.
10 years. Wow.
Like, I have no experience with any dating apps ever. That's how long I've been in a relationship. It all scares the shit out of me. The dating
Yeah.
apps.
Oh, I hear you, man. I was married for 10 years, and then I wasn't, and
Just like that.
and then I wasn't, and I was like, "What is dating? How
And then
do
you read
people
some
date?"
books.
So I read some books because that's what I do.
Like, how do I do this? There's got to be a book about
I'll
this.
read a book.
There's a whole section, I think, at the bookstore about it.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
was easy to find books about it, and I learned so much. I didn't mention this, but I'm also a dating consultant. Mm-hmm. I've never actually made money doing that.
A
but
matchmaker.
yeah, if somebody just wants me, this is not. It will not be coaching. I will just tell you what to do.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just give you
When I'm
good
ready
advice.
for that, I'll let you know.
Yeah, and we were just talking about how like a dating app profile can be a great place to just like advertise what you're up to.
Fact. That's pretty much what mine do.
The podcast is good because like I'll take listeners to the podcast, you know? And in fact, you might be listening to this as someone who saw that I'm a podcast host and like checking me out.
Well, I feel like if it's actually kind of a great way to screen people, right? Like,
Totally.
check out my podcast
Totally.
and you'll get a sense of what I'm about, what my personality is, and if it's not a fit, then you already know that.
That happened to me.
Neither one of us
Did I
has
tell you
to
that?
like waste our time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened to me. It actually happened.
For our podcast?
Yeah, with our podcast last week. I'm in a period of not being in a relationship.
It was a break. That Friends episode with Rachel and Ross. Yeah. We were on a break.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I probably need to watch that.
That is a huge story arc, my friend.
Okay. Oh, man. I'm one of those that I've just seen like completely random episodes of Friends, so I don't really understand like the long-term things that went on. Anyway, so this person, we were like kind of planning a date, and somehow I think I had something about the podcast in my profile, and then she messaged me a little while later. And like our first episode is getting to know Matt, and I feel like you would only get the vaguest sense of me from that episode.
Agreed. I mean, how do you really get to know somebody in like 30 to 40 minutes?
Exactly. But I think I did talk about my view of spirituality in there. And this person was just like, I'm way more religious than you are, and I just don't think that would be a match. And cool.
Right.
I mean, I don't mind going on a date with somebody who's just interesting, even if we're not like going to be lifelong partners.
Right.
But awesome. Great. So, hey, well, you're already listening. What I mean is...
What do you mean, Matt?
Well... I don't know. I was going to say, like, hey, if you happen to be listening because you're scoping me out, then it's okay with me if you're like, hey, I listened to you on the podcast
and I don't think we're
it's
a fit.
Fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super okay with me.
I mean, I'd rather you just totally do that.
Yeah.
Like, if we've been messaging and, like, it's not a fit, just message me and be like, dude, I listened to episode 7. This is not going to work out.
Yeah, episode 7 really turned me off. On the other hand, if you listen to all of our episodes, and you're still
probably
kind of interested, we're probably soulmates. Okay, so what are we here for?
Today, we are gathered here today to have a coaching conversation with James. So we're just going to look at something that you want to talk about, and we'll see where it goes. And I'll let Matt ask the kickoff question he always asks with these conversations.
Yeah. What would you like to get from our conversation? What would you like to walk away with?
There's so much. I'm trying to pinpoint one. I would like to walk away with a sense of security in what I'm doing. Or at least I need to find a better path forward for what I'm trying to accomplish. And in order to do that, I need to offload a lot of... I work endlessly on this podcast and numerous others, and I have a 40 to 50 hour a week sometimes day job. So I'm shoveling coal for 100 hours a week sometimes.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I want to start a family soon. I'm trying to pay down debt, just general problems that most people have, I would assume.
Yeah.
But it's difficult, and it's wearing on my ability to even stand being alive anymore. It's so much work.
Yeah. So I hear you're like really, really drained. Just going and going and going.
Yeah. I have no time for like stuff like this is fun. This is great. The other podcasts I run are great. And that like definitely helps me keep going. Cause like when I'm done at my 9 to 5, you
get to do the things
I get to do. I get to work in the field I love. And thankfully like actually make money doing it. Like that's a huge blessing. Yeah. But it's, now I have committed to doing so much of what I love on top of what I have to do to maintain, my rent and, the lifestyle that I want to live. So I guess I need to find a path to just doing the things that I love in order to make up sleep. That's the number one thing I'm after is sleep.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like what you'd like to get from our conversation is clarity about the path forward for you.
Yes. Yeah.
And what is that path designed? Like, where is that path going to arrive?
That path will arrive I will have a successful business owned by me, and maybe 2 successful businesses owned by me in the same general field, with financial freedom. I don't want to work for other people anymore. I want to work for me.
Yeah.
You know, I need. I think I need less restraint from others. Like I need to be kind of let loose, you know.
Gotcha. So it sounds like what you're creating, what you're working towards is a business or 2 that you own and run.
Yeah.
Where you have financial freedom.
Yeah.
You have freedom to kind of create that as you want it.
Yeah.
What else?
I'm trying to create a sense of community in an egalitarian meritocracy that is stand-up comedy, where it's 1v1 or 1v all. You know, I don't want to get like grandiose about what I'm trying to do or anything. Like I feel like, you know, there's an industry that I want to build an industry. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to, or at least contribute in some major way to helping people maximize their potential here instead of having to leave their lives here for the unknown on the coasts. That's
meaning the comedy community.
Yeah, the comedy community
in Chicago.
Community, yeah. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the difference you want to make there. What does that look like?
I mean, there's a lot of selfish reasons I want to do it. I'm sick of seeing my friends leave every year. So a little bit of background on how the stand-up comedy community works here. Every year, there's like a mass exodus of people. They get really good here. Chicago's kind of like the last stop. I see it like on this train line. We're the last stop before you get off the train and go to where you really want to go, New York or LA, to like get a writing job or become famous on TV.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of that notion. Like, there's no reason that people should just leave here, because like people still come here from like Denver and Indiana, like all these places around the country. They do come here and then they funnel out. And yeah, for the last 12, 13 years, I've watched all of my friends get good and leave and go find success elsewhere. And great, go find that success. I'm not here to stop you from being successful, but you have a much better chance of being successful here if you can build a base here, instead of going to this giant ocean that is New York or LA, where there's a bunch of other people who are way better than you, doing what they're doing, or more established than you, I should say.
So what is the difference that you want to make?
I want to make it so that people can stay here and make money doing what they love to do.
Yeah. Cool. And what would that provide you?
A sense of purpose, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm in kind of a rare spot where I'm not a comic, and there are only a couple other people like that around here. It's growing though, thankfully. Like there's a lot of, which is a good sign that the industry is ready to grow here. But yeah, I have a sense of purpose already. I guess I kind of I want to hold on to that and grow it,
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're looking at is a future where you're running your own businesses.
Yeah.
There's a sense of like freedom, financial freedom, and you're also fulfilling the purpose that you see for yourself in terms of creating community and longevity and like sustainable careers for comedians in Chicago.
Yeah.
Is that
perfect?
it?
That's it.
Okay, awesome. And so, what you asked and what you requested is like to clarify your path towards that.
And it's okay to change the path.
So you're asking like, what do I have to do to get there?
No, I was just making sure I understood your request.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to figure out a way to get there.
What's in the way of being there?
Money, time. I'm way underwater in mostly time. I can't, sometimes I can't even find time to edit these episodes in a timely fashion. But I've put so much on my plate. I was real hungry when I started doing all this stuff, and now I'm eating a whole Thanksgiving dinner by myself right now. And I really have two options. I can either leave my day job now with that's the most secure thing I have. It's salaried money, great insurance, a good work environment. Everyone there is cool and fun. Or I can stop doing everything I love and throw away the businesses that I'm trying to create, so that I can sustain for lack of a better word, a regular life with a 9-to-5 and security. So it's security or the unknown. That's what I have to choose from right now.
I see.
And if I continue down the path, at least the way I see it, if I continue doing this, I will lose both, because I'm going to burn out if I continue doing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so the way it seems to be is that you either continue on this path, where it's just unsustainable because your well-being's not it's not being cared for.
Yeah.
So you stay on this path, which is not sustainable.
Yeah.
Or it looks like your other options are to just do your stable job and say goodbye to some of the stuff you love and that it seems to be more in service of your future.
Yeah.
Or leave the stable job, go into the unknown of doing what you love and working towards your future, but a lack of financial stability.
Yeah.
Does that seem to be it?
That is exactly it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there other options?
I mean, there's little tweaks probably. I could offload some of the shows that I'm producing. I also produce a live show, stand up every Thursday night at Little Olive Lounge in Wicker Park.
Nice.
And I've been doing that for our 7-year anniversary is actually this Thursday, April 18th. And I had left that show. That show was like my baby. I run it with a bunch of other great folks, but like I put all the gas I had into that car for a long time. And I had to entrust that show to a bunch of folks who are killing it right now. But that was very hard for me to do. But I was able to offload something in my life that took a lot of my free time away. So I could make little tweaks. But I'm in this process of growth right now with all of these projects. And, I have faith in everything I'm doing. I never picked up something that I didn't believe in, which I thought was important, because I don't want any extra weight, because there's no room for it. And I feel like if I offload anything else, I feel like that's a failure. Okay. I'm not in a position to fail at this new thing that I'm doing right now, at least for my own mental well-being. I need to continue doing all of these things.
So what's the real challenge here for you?
Allotting the correct time to do all of them efficiently. I have a time management problem. That's what I have.
Well, it may be a problem if you hold it that way.
How is it not a problem?
Well, I'm not arguing that it's not either.
Sure.
I'm just saying holding something as a problem is a way of stopping ourselves.
Okay. How do I change my perspective on that?
Well, I don't know. But one thing that might be interesting to look at is if you just take your current set of circumstances where you're doing some things you really care about that are like future, you've got this stable job, and the combo of how you're using everything is that you're totally depleted or kind of running on empty, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's...
does that sound accurate? Is fumes, Matthew.
Okay, cool.
Fumes.
Gotcha. And so...
Full name.
Here you are. And you've got the future. Do you have that future still in mind?
Oh, totally.
So what if we were to just say, like, this set of circumstances, which we've been holding as, like, a big problem, what if there were opportunities instead?
Yeah.
Like, name 3 opportunities of your current circumstances.
The opportunity to create an industry. The opportunity to be financially free, the opportunity to be truly fulfilled in the work that I'm doing. That's a major issue I have. Like, again, love my day job. It's great. But it is a day job. Like, I'm working for someone else, and I'm helping them fulfill their dream that, which is great. Everyone needs help. But I could be spending my time doing something that is vastly more fulfilling and less draining. When I leave work and I go home and I generally record between 2 and 3 podcasts every day. So get off work, I go to the gym for an hour, I come home, I record for 5-6 hours, 7 days a week. And it doesn't feel like work when I'm in there.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, but it doesn't feel like work.
But it's fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's only exhausting because I'm already exhausted from being awake for like 10, 12 hours already.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to get those 10 or 12 hours back into my life and put all of that into this new thing that I'm trying to do it's exciting.
What's in the way of just taking the plunge?
Money, security. I have 2 dogs that I got to make sure that they're healthy. I got to pay for their insurance, take them to the vet. The wife is supportive, very supportive. And she's out there running her own business. It's not her business, but she's like in charge of the daily operations. And so, she's got her own revenue stream. So there's security there, but it's just like, I'm afraid that if this fails, then all of this will fall on her shoulders, and I don't want to burden her with that. You're smiling at me.
Because
there's a lot of fear in becoming broke again. Because I've been broke. A lot of us have been broke. I've lived.
Cool. Well, let me just pause.
Yeah.
So, fear.
Yeah.
Is what's in the way.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And what I hear is that some of that fear is based in it might go like it's gone before, or just the unknown of what could occur.
Yeah.
What are you really afraid of?
Instability.
What would that look like?
People falling off of payments for the small businesses that I'm trying to start, which then tumbles into my rent and my bills, and then that affects my relationship, and that affects everything around me.
Yeah.
If I lose 3 clients for any reason at all,
and what would happen then?
I would be scrambling to find more clients to make up for that.
And then what? Let's actually just for fun, if you're open to it.
Sure.
Let's live out the worst case scenario, like the reasonable worst case scenario.
Leave it out?
No, let's
live
play
it
out.
out. Okay.
Let's
play it
go
out.
all
What
the way
would it
through
actually look
everything.
The most reasonable worst case scenario.
This is outside of like I get hit by a car.
Right.
Yeah.
So
predictably bad scenario. What would that look like?
So I leave my day job to pursue only these things. And for whatever reason, the community that I'm serving decides that this is not a tenable idea. And they all start, they leave town to go to New York or LA to become who they would like to be. So I start losing clients. Then I'm also in a situation where my landlord is pressuring me to buy the house that I'm in, which is where my studio is.
Keep exploring it.
So I have...
You lose money. Let's just
I lose money.
You don't... It's not successful.
Yeah.
You don't have enough money to live off of.
Yeah.
You lose your apartment.
Yeah.
You have to go...
Then I don't have a studio, so I can't make money.
Okay, so you can't make money that way.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what? What would you do?
I'd get another day job.
Yeah. You're living out your worst case scenario. Out of fear that you might someday have to live out your worst case scenario.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario is you would do what you're already doing right now.
Right.
Yeah, but without the community I love.
Okay, maybe.
I mean, that's my worst case scenario.
Maybe. And what I imagine is that could happen either way.
Sure.
You leaving your day job has nothing to do with that. And I don't have it that you need to do a certain thing, but can you see that the worst case scenario is actually what's already occurring?
Yeah. I mean, it's
and maybe a few more bills to pay, maybe a little bit more debt.
Right. Yeah, but who wants that? The reason that what I'm doing now, I could see myself doing what I'm doing now for another 3 months.
Yeah. Your day job, you mean?
Day job and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I get what you're saying, but this is definitely not the worst case scenario right now because I have everything that I love.
Well, here's the thing, is that what would happen if you didn't find a day job? Let's play it a little further.
I'd hustle. I would hustle to find more
and where would you live?
With my wife in a comfortable home, hopefully.
Okay, but I mean, like, we're playing out the fear here.
I would live in my place as long as I could afford to sustain that.
Uh-huh. And then let's say you couldn't sustain it.
We would move and I would lose.
Where would you go?
I would try and find another place that's big enough to hold.
Let's say you don't have money for that. Let's play it out, man. Okay. What is the actual fear?
That I lose the studio.
Okay. And that's the worst case scenario?
Yeah, if I lose the studio, I lose all my clients. I lose my money. And then I'm
jobless and then what? Again. That's what I'm saying. And then what?
Then I re-enter the workforce as as another cog in the machine.
Like, is there no worst case scenario where you lose your home and you have to go live with your family?
No. I mean, yeah, and then the wife hates me because I failed
the
at my
wife
dream.
hates you.
Failed at my
Let's
dream.
like really play it out, man.
Shit. I thought we were being okay.
No,
this is
we're going down the hole.
The black hole.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I lose all my businesses or I lose all my clients. I have no day job. She loses all respect for me.
Yeah.
We go. we try and find a place. We can't find a place because I got no money.
Yeah.
So, damn. Then I would have to probably couch surf for a while.
Yeah, couch surf.
God, I have so much stuff that I'd have to get rid of.
Get rid of a bunch of stuff.
Like stuff that would make me money, I'd have to get rid of for short-term money. Then I'd find a place, maybe.
Do you have a place you can crash? Do you have somebody?
Like,
I probably
instead
have.
Of couch surfing, like a more long-term, but
well,
not
just
an
anybody. Do you have a place? Like, the point is, are you going to die if this stuff happens?
Oh, no.
No.
No,
not even close.
I'm not going to die.
You can call me, dude.
Yeah, you can stay on my couch.
I got stuff in my fridge.
Yeah, Matt will feed you and I will house you.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And what I imagine is that shit's not going to happen, man.
No.
Because you're resourceful. Not. And what's funny is you're like, well, if all that stuff happened, I'd have to hustle.
Exactly.
You're hustling right now, man. You couldn't hustle any more than you already are.
Yeah.
How much longer are you going to kill yourself before you give yourself a chance at the life you really want?
A couple more months.
Okay, cool. So you get to decide. I'm just pushing you, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is that there's this sense of fear and worst case scenario, and if you actually push it, like, you would be fine.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe if all that happened, you'd also get to enjoy your life a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd get some more sleep. Maybe your relationship with your wife would be way better because you're sourced, and you actually get to be you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's just putting my own stuff into it. What are you getting from this conversation?
I'm getting that I never really thought the worst case scenario all the way through.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty grim.
Yeah.
But then also at the end of that worst case scenario,
I have to.
You realize.
I mean, yeah, I'm not dead, but that's a philosophical discussion for another day.
Well, here's the thing. This may or may not be helping you. Sometimes getting present to what the real fear is, and what I imagine is that behind all of that is what it would mean about you, and that's what you're really afraid of.
Yeah, I need purpose, man. I've cultivated this thing over the last decade that is going really well, frankly, now, and that's kind of where I put all of my purpose is in this comedy thing.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to kind of what Matt was saying is, so if that were to not exist, what does that say about you? What story are you telling yourself about?
That I am a one-dimensional creature of wasted habit for 10 years.
If that happened, that's what it would mean.
To me, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What a waste of time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You only get one shot at life, and if you waste time, you lose.
And are you open to the idea that wasting time is totally made up?
I'm open to hearing your argument for it, but
well, you get to choose how you want to hold it. It's my point is that there's no truth to it. We can decide whether or not to believe in it or not.
Sure.
But 1,000 years from now, 1,000,000 years from now, we just took a picture of a black hole.
We did.
That's like 3 million times the size of Earth.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know how many trillion miles away from here.
Yeah.
This doesn't matter. Now, this is just a perspective.
Yeah,
let me just be really clear about this. I'm not preaching.
Yeah.
I'm just inviting the opportunity to look at it a little differently.
Sure.
The fear of wasting time could ruin our lives. And you have a choice about how you hold what you've been up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I what I'm hearing in kind of this conversation, what's coming up for me for you is this idea of wasting time, and you're like 9 to 5, right? Like you kind of hold it as a waste of time, but at the same time, you're not willing to give up that waste of time because it gives you something. It gives you that security. So is that a waste of time then? Because you're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's all how you hold it, right?
Yeah.
What are you getting from that?
Up from me.
From the discussion so far, what are you getting?
I mean, in order to make all this work, I need a perspective change for sure.
What would that perspective be?
That time is irrelevant. No, that I don't know, that I need to figure out why I haven't even left yet.
Okay. Well, you could look at why.
Yeah.
Because that might help you get present to what's in your way. Could we just look at it a little differently and see if it unlocks anything? Let's go back to the future.
Okay. Great movie.
Yeah, it is. It's so good.
Brilliant.
By the way, I've never talked about this on the podcast. I'm going to talk about it later. Back to the future.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in a future where you're making this really profound difference for the comedians here in Chicago.
Yes. Yay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you also have like the freedom that you want.
Yeah.
I'm imagining in there, you didn't really talk about this, but I imagine there's something about your well-being, how you get to live in a way that feels really healthy and sourcing for you. Yeah. Don't lose the mic.
Sorry.
That's right. Are you willing to stand in that future with me?
Yeah, let's do it.
Are you there?
Oh, yeah.
So let's say this is how long from now? Like a few years?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. You are the future of comedy in Chicago.
Oh.
Okay?
Sure.
You with me?
Yeah.
Is that your vision?
I mean, I'm more of a behind-the-scenes guy,
Yeah.
but I would like to be a driving force in that, for sure.
Of the community.
Yeah. Definitely.
Cool. So you have this great financial freedom.
Yeah.
You're doing the businesses. You're doing the things that you said you love.
Yeah.
Producing, community.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so from there, looking back to now, Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. No doubt.
Okay, you with me?
Yeah.
You're looking back and you're like, oh man, I was there. I remember I was in that coaching conversation. I was scared because I was working my ass off. I was depleted.
Yeah.
Had this job, you know. And you're looking back on it and you're kind of looking back fondly at this moment because this was like, let's say, a turning point for you.
Sure.
What turned?
The hold that my fear of a lack of security had on me. You know, I've not had a job before. Within the last 5 years, I've had no job or real prospects. The only thing that actually really kept me, well, the two things that kept me going were my wife and comedy. And I'm still here, and I'm doing better than I ever had in both of those fields, frankly.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I could do it then, I can definitely do it now. 5 years looks real cool.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
Yeah.
And so what would generate for you the breakthrough that would allow you to let go for that, like the clinging to the security, so that you could explore what's unknown and possible for you?
I need to make sure that the steps I have to take in my life to make sure that's so the path forward for me that I've kind of already defined for myself is I have to get rid of debt and have enough clients to sustain a life outside of that day job, and I think I'm there.
Uh-huh.
I just need a couple more things kicking in before that starts. There's definitely light at the end of this tunnel. I've like analyzed this and seen that light.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so hard to pull that trigger because it's good money that I'm giving up.
So what's going to create the breakthrough for you that will allow you to do that?
And it could be anything. In the box, out of the box. Could be anything.
Money. Money. I need money in that box.
Well, what you said, so just to reflect it, that's operating within the need for security.
Right.
That's the voice of the need. And not to hold it as money as being bad.
Sure.
And like money can be great.
Sure.
But what it seems like is in the way is not money, it's your attachment to the known and the security. Because just consider that there may be a time when you think it's ridiculous that for financial reasons you didn't leave this job. From the future where you're making an amazing living as the future of comedy in Chicago.
Yeah.
Right? So what would allow the breakthrough so that you got to actually go into the unknown and create what you really want?
I guess being more present in the future would help that. It's hard to do because I'm so stuck in the immediate present.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to break out of that when you're just constantly doing and doing and doing and doing and doing.
What would allow you to come from the future like that?
I don't know, more conversations like this, more, I don't know, encouragement, a view of, like, I'm a tangible guy. I like to see things and hold things and, you know, see numbers for things, projections and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Data sets. I have to see. This is all probably really fun. Thinking about data. But, like, that's, you know, I need to see the scoreboard. I need to see the scoreboard to put faith in stuff.
To actually get a sense of the possibility
Yeah.
of it. Oh, this really could be possible.
Yeah. And, you know, it's the world that I operate in, this stand-up world is, you know, it's the exact opposite of stability.
Yeah.
It's a wide variance of different people. And, you know, it's the entertainment industry that goes up and down all the time. So that it's a rocky ship.
Uh-huh.
So
can I just throw in a few ideas since our time's depleting, and I want to make sure you walk away with value. Mm-hmm. And they're just things to consider, and I'm just going to kind of throw them out there as places to look for the power that you need.
Okay.
One place to look is to get really present to how great you are. You are a powerful person.
Ooh, that makes me uncomfortable. I do not like that.
Because as long as it's things outside of you, then you don't have to be responsible for it. And there's a big payoff in not being responsible for your life. And you're doing things to be responsible. Yeah. And what will allow you to really take responsibility and create what you want is to just get present to how powerful you are. That worst case scenario you described is of a James who has no power. And you do have power. And you have enrollment. You have tons of tools that you are like naturally good at. Your being. It's not just things you're skilled at. Your being is powerful. So that's one opportunity that I see for you. And I'm just going to throw stuff out there. What matters is what you see for yourself. So let me know what is resonating for you.
Sure.
Another thing I think to continue on that is to consider what could come from being responsible. So my clients might do this might happen, that might happen, that might happen. Yeah. And being the creator of your life, you get to have a bunch of choice within what happens.
It's true.
How you hold it, what you enroll people in, the possibility you see. Okay. And then another thing that occurs is that there's an opportunity to get complete about how it's gone before. You know, there was this time when you were broke, or maybe times.
Yeah. And
those are still got a hold on you. Because then the story is it's going to go that way again, however it went.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
And if you could be free of those and actually see them as having been perfect, not a problem. They help to create the you that's here today.
Yeah.
All of that created this opportunity, the moment that you're in right now. If you can get present to that and start to hold the past as perfect just as it was, then it doesn't have to have a hold on you. And it might be that if you went broke, that would be perfect too.
Because then I can just do it again.
Freedom. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get to explore more stuff. And maybe you get to sleep a bunch. You know, whatever it is, you get to decide what that is.
Now we're living in a fantasy world.
So I'm just throwing a bunch of stuff. I'm like shortcutting, but I just want to reflect some things that I think might be in your way and that could be power boosts for you.
Yeah.
What are you getting from that?
I mean, I definitely feel better about the decision I'm going to have to make soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really explored the idea that I've done all this before. You know, maybe not by choice, but I've definitely been through something like this. Well, it's something like the future that we're seeing. And it's gone, I'm here right now.
Yeah, here you are.
Fine.
Yeah. Here you are. And who knows how it'll go. Maybe it'll feel like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll feel different.
Right.
But from where we're at, that past can have such a hold on what we think can happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why we are afraid of stuff, because we hold on to that because bad experiences.
And the story is usually that what happened was bad.
Yeah.
And that's just made up. It's not that it was good either. It's just we're deciding what to believe about it.
Right.
And if you can shift how you're holding the past, it might open up some stuff for you. What do you see?
I see me sleeping until 11 a.m.
Nice.
In a couple of months.
Being sourced.
Yeah,
is there anything from this conversation that you want to declare that you'll take on to the next week to move forward and create your life?
I'll definitely look at the future with a more positive outlook. That's for sure.
How will you practice that?
I'll come back to this conversation in my head over and over again. put myself in that future more. I'll be, not less present in the present, but I'll be more present in the future.
Will you tell anybody about the future? The vision that you now, the clarity and the vision that you now have, will you?
I have.
Tell, but now tell from more. This place.
Yeah, I will tell more people.
Yeah, and how about I love where you're looking. That's such a great practice, is like enrolling people in the possibility.
Yeah.
And so what if we designed a practice for you?
Okay.
Of enrolling 3 people in the future 5 years from now.
Yeah.
And the future for the next few months. Start to enroll them in the possibility you see for how you could leave your job. Oh, and maybe that gets also to the data you were seeing. Maybe there is like a sit down and let me actually see okay, how much money am I generating now from my side jobs? How could I grow that? How long, and just actually see a path of possibility.
Sure.
Of course, we don't know how life's going to go, but actually create a view where you go, oh yeah, this could happen.
Yeah.
And then enroll people in that. So, are you willing to take both those on this week?
Definitely.
Path of possibility.
Yeah.
And also enrolling people in that possibility.
Definitely.
Okay, cool. And then the last question I have is, how will you be to actually create that future? What do you declare you'll be?
More positive. Yeah.
What does that look like?
Just not so afraid all the time. I'll be more sure of myself, I guess. Wow, what an unsure statement that was about being sure of myself.
No, it's okay. It's practice.
That's why it's practice.
It's practice.
I will be more sure of myself going forward. Yeah.
And okay, so here's what's cool about what you said, is that we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
In the world. But we can know how we're going to hold ourselves. So the decision, I will be more sure of myself, of my possibility, of who I am, of who I know myself to be, that is in our control, always. So I love that as a place to practice.
Sure.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also want to call back to when you said, oh, what an unsure thing to say. Sure. I mean, I think that it's okay to recognize that saying something doesn't feel quite right and tweaking it too, because I think there's power in when it's uncomfortable saying it anyway, but I think there's also power in saying this doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
And this feels better. Like saying it this way feels better. And then maybe tomorrow or 3 days from now or a week from now, that original statement, whatever you were saying that felt better to you, gets you to the place where you can say with confidence,
Yeah.
I am going to be more sure about myself and my skills and my greatness. And then it feels good and feels true to say that.
Yeah. What comes to me from that is it's like a lot of the power that we can put into our lives, or unleash is probably a better way to put it, is from how we're being. And getting to a place where we get to be ourselves in our power.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we'll look at, well, what do I need to do? Well, another place to look is, how would I need to be? But then what's funny is that you can then say, what do I need to do in order to be that?
Yeah.
So you can give yourself some concrete stuff to okay, well, this is what I know helps me to be the powerful person that I know I can be. Something like that. All right. So do you got practices to take on this week?
Yeah.
Okay. Or is the conversation complete? Do you have a path forward?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I do.
What was most valuable for you from our conversation today?
Re-examining past failure and defining it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There's something in that for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what can we acknowledge you for?
What?
What do you want to be acknowledged for?
Oh, man. I don't know. That's ability to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm totally present to your drive and your willingness to persevere and really go after the thing that you want, and trying to create something bigger than yourself, and what it takes to do that sometimes. And I'm also just really present to your dedication to the projects that you're working on, and all of the creativeness that you bring to those projects, and the leadership too.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge your devotion. You know, your steadfastness. I want to acknowledge your heart. And I also want to acknowledge your future vision, mm-hmm. who you want to be for the people around you, mm-hmm. who you want to be in Chicago comedy, mm-hmm. for being the creator of community. I totally stand for you to have that future and be in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you got a chance to share something that you've learned in life.
Yeah. With
people listening. What from your life would you like to share with others you think would be helpful for them?
Chase your dreams. Hunt them down as hard and fast as you can. You get one shot at all of this, so make it count. Yeah, just work your ass off and keep going. Thanks, but be positive. Be positive.
No, you got it. Chase your dreams.
Yeah.
Thanks, bud. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Good. All right. So I think that completes another episode of Cultivating Courage. Thank you, James, for being here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You can find us at cultivatingcouragepodcast.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Robinson Kristen, Kristin. You can find Matt
on Instagram, Matt T. Maxwell, Matty Maxwell.
Perfect. And James, where can people connect with you?
Don't connect with me. Connect to People of Comedy Network on Instagram, at People of Comedy Network on Instagram and Facebook, and YouTube, iTunes. Search iTunes for People of Comedy, and come to my show. 7-year anniversary stand up at Stand Up on Instagram, April 18th at Little Olive Lounge, 1540 North Milwaukee in Wicker Park.
Awesome. All right. We would love for you to subscribe. I've been putting a little button right up here on YouTube. So see it, Matt? Yeah, right there.
It's cool how it's just floating in this
click
room.
it and subscribe, you guys. And if you follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we'd love you to subscribe there as well.
Yep.
And I think that's a wrap.